Going to be looking at both formal and informal businesses, but in each of these sectors, we are going to be looking at the various types of businesses that we find in those two sectors. There are three main types of businesses. We have our trading businesses, for example, macro. You have your manufacturing businesses, in which we find in factories, and then we have our service businesses, for example, at hair salons. Trading businesses sell ready-made goods. These businesses buy goods in bulk directly from manufacturers or wholesalers and sell them to their consumers. They also sometimes package goods in attractive and more convenient ways. They often add value to the products which they buy. Wholesalers and retailers are formal trading businesses, for example, Makro and Pick n Pay. Street vendors and flea markets are informal trading businesses. There we have Spar down the road from us, an example of a retailer. Manufacturing businesses make goods. They make goods from raw or processed materials. For example, they make blankets from wool, which is from the primary sector, or they make containers from plastic, which is from the secondary sector. They buy from both the primary and the secondary sector. They are also referred to as the industrial sector. Some manufacturers put together a variety of parts made by other businesses, for example, when assembling vehicles. Factories are examples of formal manufacturing businesses, where home industries are informal manufacturing businesses. There we have an example of the factory, formal, and curios and ornaments, informal. Service businesses offer services. They do things for their customers in exchange for money. The difference between formal and informal service businesses is sometimes blurred. If they are registered with government and pay tax, they are formal. If they are not registered and do not pay tax, they are informal. Often, the formal service businesses will have permanent premises in the business district. Often, the informal service businesses will operate from their homes. Like, for example, you see the gardening services. Quite often, it simply has a sign up outside his home, and then they have perhaps an advertisement on their bakkie. Examples of these types of businesses in the formal sector, I'm sure you've seen many of these around. For example, Macro, which is a trading business, Game, Clicks, P&A. Examples of manufacturing businesses in our area is Arc Sportswear Factory, which manufactures your school uniform, Faircape, where they get the milk from the farmer and they manufacture dairy products. And then the best one, that's Gelato, where they manufacture ice cream. And then examples of service businesses in the formal sector, we find Medicross, where they offer medical services. There's FNB, where they offer banking services. And the Nail Bar, which is a beauty salon. There we see examples of lots of logos around that I'm sure you've all seen at some time. Examples of businesses in the informal sector, trading businesses, are spaza shops, street vendors, and I'm sure you've seen people selling snacks at taxi ranks. Example of manufacturing businesses in the informal sector, sometimes people make traditional dresses from home, and sometimes they make the wire ornaments that I'm sure you've seen them selling at the robots. Example of service businesses in the informal sector, doing hair from home, doing nails, and sometimes someone who is unemployed has a skill where they can repair basic kitchen appliances. Some business, however, offer all three in one. In the formal sector, If we take Checkers as an example, they are traders because they sell their products. They are manufacturers when they make hot food from their raw products. And they are service providers when they offer banking services at their tills. Take Mr. Penny, who is an example in the informal sector. He sells second-hand motorbikes. He can also assemble new motorbikes from spare parts, and he will service your motorbike for a reasonable price. Many other businesses sell their products and offer the service of repairs. Many other businesses manufacture their product and then offer the service of delivery.